Carol. Carol, so you're new again. That's funny. So I just had that whole thing happen with the new card, and it's been like crazy getting everything adjusted to the new card, like all my auto pays and stuff. It's crazy. Dawn, I love the new battery. Thank you, sir, for that. I appreciate it. I think I have this down. Okay, so I have no idea what to talk about tonight, so you guys are going to have to ask lots of questions to help spur things on. I am in the, we had a rainy day. I went into town and met up with somebody who gave me a milk stanchion that she's not going to be using. So I finally went and picked that up. Like, she's been holding on to it for months for me. And I went and picked that up and chatted with her for a bit. It was fantastic. And then Kelly calls me and she's like, hey, the protein shakes that you like are on sale. You should come get them. So I did. I went to Costco. And then I came home and, oh, thanks. I'm due for a wash on this hair. Hi, Juanita. And so then I came home and it's been raining. So I've just kind of been sitting around reading. And, yeah, and so now I'm just kind of in this, like, zone of, I have no idea what to talk about, because I've just been reading all afternoon. So I did order, I've been editing the video on the tables that I built, and I'm super excited for them. Did you get the springs installed for the KitchenAid? No, and I'm probably going to have to wait for Kira, because they are serious springs, and like my hands won't. And I forgot when I was at Home Depot to see if they had the tool that you use. But then I saw somebody use a garden rake. So I was like, maybe I just need to get a garden rake, a little handheld garden rake. And Kira can do it when she gets here on Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday she's coming. Okay. KJ says, how did you come up with the design on the workbenches? So I probably watched 100 YouTube videos on the ultimate workbench and the best workbench you could ever have. Building your first workbench. Like all these workbench ones. And this one came up and he was selling plans for them. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy the plans. And then this will be an easy build and I can finish it in 2 days. And so I bought the plans. They were like $12 for the plans. And it really did go together easily because I was able to cut all the pieces in. Oh, a hay hook. That's smart. I may try that. I don't know if I have a hay hook here. So that's it. It was a YouTube video that a guy put out that he builds a bunch of different stuff. The other thing I've been looking for is patio furniture out of 2x4s. So I'll be building those. And then I also was looking at chicken coops because I don't know if all of you know. I know some of you know, but I'm picking up some chicken eggs to put in the incubator. And I got silky, so a dozen silky eggs and a dozen. It's this tiny breed. They're not bantams. They're small though, and they're super flashy. I was looking for bantams because those I really like, and so I'm gonna have to be building a chicken coop for them because like my son called me today and he's like, yeah, we've got an eagle that's trying to eat all of our chickens. So these little bitty ones will be like easy snacks. And then I also have some quail eggs coming at the beginning of April that I'll be putting in to incubate also. So, Jag said I look rested. I can see the energy. I feel exhausted. I did actually take a 2-hour nap today too. But I feel exhausted. So I have not been eating well. I'll totally tell on myself. And so my entire body hurts. Like the RA is rampant. The arthritis is rampant through my body. And so standing and doing that workbench, by the time I stopped for the day and came inside, I felt like I was 97 years old. In fact, last night I told Chloe, girl, I don't know if I'm going to be able to carry you up the ladder. She's like, oh, she's heavy. Yeah, so Let's see. Anna says coop. KJ says coop, coop, coop. Anna says on the coop you liked, you probably won't even need the roost bars for silkies. They sleep on the ground. Interesting. I did not know that. So I could make a little nesting box thingy that sits on the ground for them. Silkies are so cute. Victor had the prettiest silky rooster. It was a silvery gray one. And unfortunately, the eagle got it. Now the cat wants to go out because I'm on the phone and they're like children. And, and as soon as you get on the phone, they're like, Mom, 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 Mom. KJ. Oh, not. I just called the cat KJ. Cagney. Oh, she might go out the doggy door. And they all cuddle together in a big floof. Cute. Chloe's moving the camera. So, and then I was telling Victor, I said, but she's a cool cat. It's because I was looking at your name. So I was telling Victor, I said, hey, I need to mill up some 2x4s because I've got a big chicken coop that I need to make. And he goes, oh, I have a whole bunch of store-bought 2x4s that I'm not using that you can have. He's like, there's like 110 of them in there, 2x4x10s. So, hey, Colleen, how are you? So, I think that probably is going to cover for the chicken coop. So then all I'll have to buy is the wire, the metal for the roof, and any other little things. Like there'll be a little bit of plywood and stuff, but KJ, now see what you've done. KJ, go out the dog door. We're all family here. If we didn't tease you, we don't love you. That's how that works. Hi, Carla. The cats went in and out, and the dogs will bark every time you're on the phone. Yeah. Yeah. Justin's been in his crate. So Justin, silliest dog. So he loves his crate. I don't think I've ever had a dog that loves the crate as much as he does. He loves going in there. And so when it's time to eat, that's where he goes. And then he literally just lays in there all day. He won't eat. He just guards his bowl. And then right before bed, he inhales all the food. And I'm like, dude, now you have to wait because I'm not letting you out in the middle of the night. Oh, and make sure there's a ramp up to the nesting boxes or that they are low. Okay. Well, I don't know if the other birds may not need a ramp. So maybe that would make it so that I could tell the difference between the two types of eggs. There may be a size difference because I think these other birds only get to be like, they're small. I like small birds. It's his man-dog cave. It totally is his man-dog cave. In fact, when the elevator goes in, it's going in right there where his crate is. And I don't know where that crate's going to go. I really hadn't planned on having a second crate here because I did the built-in crate. But Chloe pretty much has taken over the built-in crate. In fact, he'll be outside and she'll get in the crate and then he's afraid to come in because she's mean and grumpy. And so then he'll sit out there and cry and do little yelps until I make her move and then call him in. And then he can come in. So funny. They're funny. Oh, hi, girly. What are we doing? Come here. Well, come here. Me and the cats took nap today. All three of us up there. All four of us, because 3 cats. Cagney has realized that she can wake me up if she lays on my face to suffocate me. And then I will have to gasp for breath. And then I'm awake. See? It was just like, oh, you're awake. Can I go outside? It was a cat nap. A 2-hour-long cat nap. Yeah, KJ says, if you like us, hit the like button. Justin really is low man on the totem pole, and But all the cats love him and they all cuddle him. The only cat that Chloe likes is Brennan. And they will actually lay on the couch together and sniff each other and all of those things. But Justin, all three of them will curl up to him and sleep with him. She is one of those pretty girls that's not very nice. She's such a girl. She's gonna miss out. So, a lady at church, yeah, Justin totally cuddles with the kitties. A lady at church called me, and her son had a border collie that he was needing to find a home for, and she was given my name, and I'm like, oh no. But I have a friend who's looking for a dog, and so Jen, you guys have seen her on the channel, and so I'm going over to her house on Saturday and taking Willow, the border collie, and Justin will get to go because he's nice, and then we're supposed to do a bunch of herding and stuff, so I'm excited about that. He gets along. But if he went to daycare, I would get that phone call of Justin wants to hump everybody. And you guys seen that meme or that short that someone the school calls and the dog's like, what? 3 dogs would even things out, but I do want another corgi. Chloe, we had started showing and doing stuff, and I had planned on finishing her and breeding her, but she has the bad elbow. So when she started limping is when I quit seriously working with her to show, and just was like, she's just my girl, my grumpy girl. And so I really would like to get another female that I could possibly breed, because I love raising puppies. It's my most favorite. It's so much fun. And Justin has fantastic herding instinct, and he's very agile, so competition agility and all of those things. So I do need to figure out my agility yard and where that's going to go so we can start training on that, because it's a lot of fun. And I had to show Chloe that her sister, who's a little younger than her, just did an agility show because she's trained in that and she gets to do that. But I guess it's kind of mean because it's not her fault. She has that elbow. But I don't know if she would have done well in agility anyway, because she's pretty independent and she's like, I'm going to do my own thing. Girl, you a mess. Where you at? You a mess. She's a hoot. So, but I have picked the chicken coop that I want to build, and she is very strong-willed, but she is very food-driven. So she'll do anything for a snacky, and that would have been it. That would have been the way to get her training. Agility with a food-driven dog is pretty easy. Showing a dog that's food-driven only is sometimes can be a challenge, because they realize after a few that they're not getting a treat. But I had a lot of German Shepherds that were the very strong-willed alpha lines. Yeah, I'm totally food-driven too. Hey, Tiffany, you made it. But yeah, showing them sometimes can be. You have to jackpot them at the end. Once you get back to your crate, they get a big old treat. So her problem is she is not friendly to other dogs. She does not want other dogs messing with her or around her or any of those things. So, and I have a problem whenever I'm out in public with her, because people just think, oh, I can let my dog come up to your dog and sniff them. And I'm like, not nice, not nice. She's not nice. She's aggressive. So I was thinking about honestly getting her on muzzle. And then, like, if I needed to take the border collie this week, then I was probably going to get Chloe a muzzle. Because this is how I train dogs that need to learn the pack mentality, is I muzzle them so that they can't bite anybody. And then they have to learn to deal with the other dogs, touching them and all of those things. Tiffany, that's you and your dog. Yeah, she totally needs... She either needs a sign or I need a shirt that blinks. Not nice, aggressive bites. But so I kind of quit taking her out in public just because of that reason. I had a incident in Walmart because she's a service dog actually, and she does great when people leave her alone, and she does what I need her to do. For her work. But I had somebody with a pit bull in Walmart, and we came around the corner. So like I was coming around the corner this way and he was coming around the corner this way, and he was letting everybody pet his dog. So his dog was like running at the end of the leash, not really per se being aggressive, but just like super excited and super like, I get to be petted by you, and ooh, there's a dog. And she was not having it. She was not having it at all. And this guy was like clueless until I started yelling at him to get his dog away from me. So that was kind of when I quit taking her places. So, and then I just basically only go into town when I absolutely have to. I have attitude problems. Vicky, we don't like people or other dogs. Right? You know, I am going to start having some shirts made. I could totally make those. Oh, really? All right, let me let Cagney out really fast because she's going to get... She doesn't get as loud as Lacey, but she definitely gets... Oh, my hip. I almost threw out a hip. Go, go. She sits there and cries, and you know how they get like that. Oh, Carol, I need that shirt. It'd be great. It'd be absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, we've just been hanging out. The next, I think, 4 days is supposed to be rain. I saw that the southeast is going to get hit again. Has Mary gotten on here yet? So she got her. I have an attitude problem, Carol. We're totally, let's see, KJ. Too many people are bringing pets into the store. Service dogs are covered by the law. Pets aren't, and the pets make it hard for them. It really does. I know quite a few people with service dogs. We've talked about it in my service dog chat group that I have that are... It's causing such a problem with them that they are also not taking their dogs in. And when you have like a seizure alert dog or, you know, diabetes or allergy or something like that alert dog, mine's PTSD. If I feel like I'm starting to lose my shit, then I just leave my cart and I go. And that has happened quite a few times actually. And the dog helps. So my German Shepherd that I used to have as a service dog, she would keep people away from me. Not aggressively. She would circle and bump them and make them get away from me. Chloe, she doesn't do that. But she does alert me that I'm starting to have a panic attack. And I can do the things that I need to do to be okay. Or just quickly exit. So now I have left carts full of stuff at the store. So Carol, Kira's the same, and I always have to tell her, you do not pet. It's okay. It's kind of the way that I announce to people that are in there with their dogs that are letting people pet them that they're wrong without being aggressively rude. Because Kira's like, oh, they're letting people pet that one. I want to pet that one. And I was like, well, you need to remember that as a service dog, you should not be petting it because then it distracts the dog from doing its job. And if that was a real service dog, and I'll do that in public. Well, totally. And I'm like, and this is the reason why I can't bring my service dog in anymore. And then I walk away. Hi, Darlene. Yeah. Anna, that's nice of you. I had a full-on panic attack in an aisle of Albertsons at the worst of my PTSD. It was great fun. Yeah, I had one of those. And I have to tell you, my cousin Abby is hilarious. So Victor was about 13. And he was at the point where we would go in a store and he's like, I'm going to go look at da-da-da. And he would take off. And I'm like, okay, just keep your phone on you, right? And so we go into Target. It was Target. I'd never go into Target. But we went into Target in Killeen, Texas, near the Army base, near Fort Hood. And we get in there and I go in to, I don't know why I was in the card aisle. I was looking for a card. Well, two groups came in, one on each side, and I was trapped in the middle. And they were doing nothing wrong. They did nothing wrong. They were having a good time with each other. They were all friends. Not the groups, but each people in the group. So they were kind of being loud. And I started like full body sweat and shaking. And then I started crying. And I was trying to call Victor, but he had his phone on silent. So then I called my cousin Abby. And by then I was on the floor, rocking, crying, shaking, and she's like, she's so funny. She's so funny. And I was like, Abby, I'm having a panic attack in Target. And she's like, where's Victor? And I'm like, I don't know. He's not answering his phone. She's like, and her husband's name is James. So she's yelling. I'm not going to yell. She was yelling to her husband, James, get in the truck. And he's like, what? And she's like, get in the truck. We gotta go to Target. She's like, girl, I got me. So she works in a dental office. She's like, I got a toothbrush. I'm whittling a shake. We're on our way. And then she like is like calling Victor. Actually, James was calling Victor and she kept me on the phone. And that was probably my worst one. Like that one actually took me about 3 weeks to process and get over. But she was hilarious because she's like, run away. I'm whittling a shake. I got you, girl. She comes down the aisle. She's got this toothbrush in her hand. I was like, you are hilarious, girl. She's 9 years younger than me. She's so funny. Our moms are identical twins, so we're like sisters. It's just hilarious. It was hilarious. It's really funny now. At the time, I was still just a hot mess, but it was funny. Let's see. Okay. Oh, wrong one to go back. I got to go back because I was telling a story. KJ, I'm at the point where I think there should be state or federal licensings for service dogs, which is unfortunate because it puts a burden on the person with the service dog. It does. And so I used to belong to a dog training service dog group, an owner handler trained service dog group. And we actually fought against that because so service dogs cost up $20,000 and up. And so if you get them from a school, it costs that much. But if you have a dog that you yourself can train to be specifically what you need it to do, which you can get a private trainer to come in and help you with that. Or for instance, I sold 7 service dogs that I bred, raised, and trained. And I could train them specifically to what the individual person needed. For instance, one lady, she was legally blind, but she wasn't blind enough to have a seeing eye dog, but she needed a dog to do guidance and stabilization and all of that kind of stuff. And then she had some other things that she needed the dog to do. And so I was able to train them to do the multiple things. Where if she went to the school they train the dog to do specific things, and if it matches with what you need, then you can get the dog. But if it doesn't, she tried like 4 different schools and couldn't get a dog because her needs were so across the board. Um, and so with doing a federal registered licensing, all of that kind of stuff would cause the cost of, like, me as a trainer, I would have to go get all of these specialized certifications. And so I totally understand both sides of it, because then it protects the person buying the dog. It protects, the things. The thing that bothers me is there are reasons that you can throw a dog out of a store. If it's not being well behaved, if it's being loud, if it's being aggressive, like all of those things, you can have the dog leave. And to be honest with you, if somebody's dog is very well behaved and they're doing their shopping, and I could absolutely care less that the dog is in there. There's many times that I've been in that I know the dog's a pet. It's not a service dog, but it's a very well behaved pet, and I could care less. Because it's not bothering me, it's not bothering my dog. It's the ones that are like riding in carts, because come on, people are putting their food in the carts, like, and then you've got your dog in the cart, and that's gross. But it's a rant for another day. Brenda, you have an outstanding with your dogs. Love and enjoy your videos. May the Lord bless and protect you and your family. And thank you, Brenda. I love my babies. Chloe always comes in for attention. Justin, not as much. He's actually kind of afraid of the camera. He's a little goofball. Things fall on him. I drop things all the time, so he thinks the sky's falling. So when the camera's there, you'll see him peek around and like look at what I'm doing. But if I'm sitting low to the ground, Chloe's over there. So she's in a lot of the videos of me petting and loving on her. I was thinking that I'm like, people are going to think I don't like Justin. Let's see. Colleen, Heather, have you made kefir? I've been making it every day for 2 months. I love it. Very healthy. I have grains in the freezer if you want to start. So I bought grains. I started it last year with the goat's milk, and I promptly forgot about it in my refrigerator. So I had it on the counter, and I wasn't drinking it fast enough, and Kira won't drink it. She doesn't like yogurt, and it's very similar to the yogurt taste. And I'm adjusting to it because I have a sweet palate, not per se a tart palate. So I don't really like tart things. But it's so good for you, and I really want to get back into it and get myself drinking it more with the goat's milk. So yeah, I have a little packet to use, but that's awesome that you're drinking it, that you're doing that. Anna, nothing better than full-on crying on the floor in a store. Yeah, while you're trying to explain what's wrong with you, like, I don't even know, my brain is broken. Yeah, that's a good time. Yeah, the shank was hilarious. Especially because it was a toothbrush and she brought it with her. I don't know any other way to prevent people. Oh, I went down too far. People from lying about and bringing pets in, which impacts the real service dogs. I picture it like a doctor's note to the DMV. The person is authorized. I do agree with that. Like, so I had started training a service dog for the lady that had the vision issue. And so he was going everywhere with me. And my psychologist, I didn't take him into my psychologist doctor's appointment. And he's like, what are you doing different? You are better. You seem better. You're not as anxious. You seem like you're doing better. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And I could not think of what I was doing different. And then I had asked him, I said, hey, what's the, do you guys, I'm training a service dog. Do you guys let them in here? And he goes, oh, yeah, that's what you're doing different. He's like, that's what you're doing different. He's like, yes, we do let them in here, and you need one. You're doing so much better. Because just me sitting in the I went through like 3 years of just solid crying. Like everything would make me cry. So sitting in the waiting room with everybody with their anxiety, I pick up on it, and then I feel very unsafe, and then I'm like a sobbing mess. And so he was like, you need a service dog for yourself. And yes, you can bring the dog in. And I was like, awesome. And, but I have to tell you, the people that were the worst about wanting to pet the service dog were doctors. Those were the worst. When Chloe was really little and I just started her training, and she had learned, so I don't start really taking them into public until they learn place. So I have a mat. Like if I'm at the doctor's office, I can lay a mat on the floor and the dog will downstay on that mat. And so they need to do that. And so she had already learned that. And I go to the doctor's office and I have her on her mat, and the doctor's like, oh, I can pet her because I'm a doctor. And I was like, no, you're the problem. I was like, you can't pet her. So the doctors are the worst. And the nurse told me that too. She's like, oh, the doctors are the worst. Here's an ID and $8 and waived for low income. Yeah. But if the doctors could give a note saying, yes, you need, because let's be honest, anybody that has severe enough issues that they need a service dog, they go to the doctor. So if the doctors could just do a note kind of thing, I don't know. I just feel like I'm a less government kind of girl. I'm sad that people take advantage of it. In the summertime, people take their dogs everywhere. But then, you go to other countries, for instance, Italy, from what I understand, because I've never been to Italy, but I want to go to Italy. People take their dogs everywhere. They're really well behaved. They're well trained. It's a thing. It's a lifestyle. And there's dogs everywhere. Must have been terrifying. I had a panic attack when I worked and I don't miss them. Yeah, that one was my worst. I was not a fan of that one. And then Victor hovered forever. Like he would not leave me alone in stores. And I was like, it's fine. Go, go look at your things. I don't want to stand there and look at games. Okay, so the kefir to me is a little bit, it's like yogurt. It's like a liquid yogurt. Colleen, are you agreeing with me on that? That it tastes like just a runny yogurt? So it's thicker than milk, but it's not as thick as yogurt, and it kind of has that tangy type flavor to it. Okay, Scana's the same. Finds it to be sour. It's like a thin tart yogurt. Yeah, yeah. Now, I guess you could sweeten it if you wanted to. Yeah, Colleen's just says the same. That yes, it's a little tart. So you have to adjust to. Well, if you like tart things, then that's great. You'll probably really like it. For me, now when I started doing it, I would put like a little bit of blueberry jam in it and mix it up so that would sweeten it just a tiny bit. But also the sugar is really bad for my arthritis and causes the inflammation to inflame. So, and my mom adds fruit. Colleen adds honey. Honey it inflames me also, which I think is really, really sad. Because I had planned on doing honey. Dates do not inflame me so far. So that's kind of my only sweetness. So I was thinking of maybe I could puree some down and then use that to sweeten the kefir. Dreams and Visions from Jesus. Good morning. Hello. Don't forget, guys, she has a very cheap subscription plan. Check it out if you feel led to. Thank you, Tiffany. I really do. And the plan for this year's videos is we're going to have our weekly video of whatever I'm working on in the shipping container house. And then I have projects like, for instance, the chicken coop, the barn possibly will be the same way, that we're going to work on and kind of do a start to finish video. But I'm going to, in the evenings, update you guys, just a walk around video and show you what I'm doing for a members video. And so if you want to keep up with just a daily, at least a few times a week, probably not a daily, but just a few times a week, showing you the other projects that we're working on, because I'm not real sure how long it takes to get whatever that is built. But yeah, we've got the chicken coop, we've got the quail coop, we've got the barn that we'll be working on, gardening, the gardening stuff, all of those kinds of things. Monk fruit, the best. That's the one you like, huh, Vicky? And we get members lives on Thursdays. That's true. We do a members live every Thursday, except for the Thursday that we do this live. So I don't do 2 lives that week. The monk fruit, for me, I didn't really like it, but I do like the Splenda. But I also want to get away from, I want just the leaves of the Splenda bush, not the bleached down, powdered, processed Splenda that you get at the store. And unfortunately, the leaves are really, really expensive. And I think that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that they do less to it and it costs more. But hey, let's over process it and bleach it out and it'll be cheap. I don't understand that. I feel like if you're doing less to it, it should be cheaper than if you've processed it and done all these things. I have not tried the liquid monk fruit. Have you got a list for K-Day, Kira Day? So I'm putting a list together of all the things that need to be done. And I've started videoing a video for that. Yeah, Carol, the stevia plant. I love it. It's a plant. It's amazing. And I grew some last year, but I didn't water them enough. And yes, stevia is a herb. A herb. And I started putting it, just pulling the leaves off and putting it in my tea. And I didn't have to add any other sweetener. The leaves, literally, fresh or dried, will sweeten just as well as, if not better, sweeter than the actual processed stevia. So it's as natural as you can get. It is hard to grow. It's one of the things that I'm going to try to grow in the greenhouse. Colleen, did you try to grow any this year in your green, or last year? I think we talked about it. You can't keep it alive. Dang it, you're down there in Kentucky. It should do better there. So I ordered like 6 plants and they were doing fantastic here. I just didn't get them watered enough. And so I stunted their growth. It is one that's really difficult to start from seed. It's better to buy a plant and do cuttings off the plant and do your root grow and grow roots off of those and plant those that way. And then a lot of people will dig one of them up and bring it in the house as a house plant. And then in the spring, take cuttings off of that plant and make a bunch of plants. And then you have a bunch of plants because they're not cheap. So I was getting the plants for like $5 a piece for the little plants. I may, and the goats love them. So there's that. Keeping the goats out of it. I did some last year. I hope it overwintered. Is it inside in the greenhouse or is it outside? If it's outside, it won't overwinter, but it might in the greenhouse. Yeah, Anna, so that may have been your issue, is the seeds. So I was told don't even try to do seeds. It's really hard. Do cuttings off the plants. Hi, Lynn. I grew stevia in a pot and they did well. My sister said the seeds needed... We lost you at the needed. I'm not the only one that avoids stores. Well, people in stores actually. Yeah, no, you're not the only one. Welcome home. Welcome to your people. I think all of us with the anxiety and the stress induced in stores is loving the fact that they shop for you. Except for I have an issue with letting someone else shop for me because I'm like, if they pick out meat and they don't pick out like the meat that I would pick out, then I'm not going to like that. The seeds need to be cold for at least 2 weeks. Interesting. So put them in your freezer first and then try to plant them after that. So it's like garlic in that aspect. That might explain it. I can't start lavender either. I have not been able to start lavender at all. Not at all. And I really want to grow lavender and rose bushes because the rose petals and the lavender, dried rose petals and lavender petals are very expensive. Plus, I really just like roses. So having a bunch of roses would be really nice. And lavender is you have to get it cold first. I've never had an issue with that. You can make notes for the shopper. Oh, a small ham. Oh, got you. Well, I've kind of watched the guys in Walmart and they just grab whatever. And I'm like, oh, see? So I guess if you had someone who was a shopper and you knew them and they were your friends, okay, and here's my other thing. So I have a couple of friends that do let them shop for you. And I was actually, I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I was basically homebound for like 15 years where I refused to leave my house unless I absolutely had to. And I shopped in the middle of the night when nobody was at the store. So I would go to Walmart, the 24-hour Walmart at like 3 a.m. and shop. And I had UPS deliver most everything else to my house. And Kelly would be a great shopper. Yeah. And so I've been really careful not to do that because I force myself to go into the stores because I don't want to go back to being a shut-in because that's really easy for me to do with the PTSD and all of that. I could easily just stay home. In fact, Kim and I were always talking about that because it was like she would want to go into town and I'm like, but we just went into town like yesterday. She wanted to go into town every day and I was like, man, that's a lot. We go into town a lot. If I don't have to go into town for something, and then I try to do all the things on that one day and then get back home. I just like being in my home. Anna, Kelly would be in. Maybe if she's buying for others, she wouldn't buy so much, right? KJ, I used Walmart in South Carolina and Kroger here. Both accepted notes and did a great job. Nice. I went to Kroger at 6 a.m. to avoid people. I had one guy shadow me. He was just doing his shopping, but it was annoying, and I just stopped and let him go. I do that. Or I will turn around and say, ooh, we're shopping together. We're shopping buddies together, apparently. I'll do that. I'll tell people that. Because it always happens. Like, that always happens where you end up at the same time coming in a store. Yeah. My new best friend. Yeah, it's kind of like that. So, I definitely use humor to deflect. And so, and then I tell on myself. So, that was one of the techniques that I learned when my anxiety was starting to get bad, that if I told on myself, ooh, you guys, I'm getting ready to let my crazy out, it shuts it down to where it's not as bad. But I'm terrible about like being in a conversation with somebody face to face, and then all of a sudden, mid conversation, I'll be talking, and then I feel super awkward and I want to stop talking and run. And it's like the weirdest thing that happens, but it totally happens. Lynn, brilliant response. Vicky, I move too fast for someone to shadow me. He would be himself coming and go. I don't know how to say that. He would me himself coming and going. Colleen, since we lost the Tahoe from the big windstorm past fall, we are down to my car that Virgil takes. He told me I'm becoming a hermit. Girl, you should call me. I'll come over. We could just be hermits together. Come visit you. But if you need to run errands, I will come get you. We can go run errands together. Because Colleen is not somebody that I feel awkward around. So it works really well. Meet. He would meet himself coming and going. Got you, Vicky. I usually move fast, but that was my first trip in that store, so I had no idea what they had or where it was. Anna, Colleen, I didn't leave the house the entire month of February. So see, again. Yeah, and then Colleen, because I like being with somebody else. I definitely, what do they call that? Where you body double with somebody. So just having somebody else there, I think that's why Kira and I do so well together, because just having that second person there who doesn't pressure me at all for anything really, I'm so much more productive. And we'll get on the phone and I'll be like, all right, girl, I'm doing dishes. She's like, okay, I'll go do dishes too. And we chat on the phone and do dishes together while she's at her dad's house. See, Carol, you like being a hermit too. What? Why are we working? So the other night, the dogs started losing it. It was nighttime, and so I couldn't see what it is. So I get like my flashlight, and I go upstairs, and if I put the flashlight out my back window, it lights up the whole backyard area. And if they're really, really barky, I'll just turn it on and leave it. And then I can look out this window and see what's going on. I couldn't see anything. And I was like, it's Sasquatch. And then I was telling them, you guys, knock it off. Because Sasquatch does not like to be barked at. Darlene, I hate shopping and I hate being around people. I go as little as possible. You know what? I don't. So I used to think that I hated people. I really dislike that people are absolutely clueless to where they are in the space. Like someone that stops in the middle of the aisleway and blocks everything, and then you're just standing there like, I need to go by you. Or people that bump into you or get really, really close. I was checking out the other day, and this guy was like this far from me. And that was what was really nice about my German Shepherd, is she would then start circling me and bump them and make them move. And I didn't have to say anything. Maybe it was January, one of those hermit months. January was such a long month. I love having someone to do stuff with. I get more done. Yep. Next time you need a body double, let me know. Okay. I totally will, Colleen. He's sensitive about his feet. But you look out there and there's nothing. I know we have a lot of wild animals that run up and down the pipeline, and they hear it, and so they're like carrying on about it. Hi, Darlene. I'm short and people run into me and try to walk over me. Oh, that's annoying. That's super annoying. The year of January. Yeah. Hi, buddy. What you doing? What you doing? You been in your crate all afternoon. You got the sneezes. You're so silly. You're such a silly boy. January did take forever. I do have to say, this year's winter, I could do this winter. Like, this winter was not bad. Of course, everybody else that lives here is like, it's so mild. It was such a mild winter. I'm like, yeah, it was fantastic. Plus, Victor is taking care of the driveway so I can get up and down with no problems. I only had one time that I slid, and I had the boys with me, so we just got out and walked, and then Victor came and got that. I'm like, hey, the truck's sitting here. Do you want me to leave the keys in it? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then he took care of it. So that was really nice. But he's done a really good job with keeping the driveway clear, and he sprays it and de-ices it. And the de-icer that he uses does not harm the vegetation or animals. So it doesn't hurt anything. Oh my gosh, Anna, it was almost 80 degrees today. It was so nice. Okay, so you guys had this is Kentucky. You guys had a cold spell, and now you're super warm again, and then this storm is coming in. Isn't that what causes tornadoes? Just asking. Just asking. So we are also doing a bunch of fencing this year. Yeah. Yep. That's the storm that's coming in. Does that start today? I will call Kira and ask her, what's your weather doing? Anna said it's crazy at her house. And she's like, oh, it's not doing anything. And then the next day she'll be like, oh, we got 7 inches of snow. I was like, since I talked to you? Yes, tornadoes are expected on Friday. Yeah. If you don't like the weather, blink. Friday and Saturday. Yeah. So, I used to live in Kentucky. I was stationed, got an itchy eye. I was stationed at Fort Knox, and the year that I went from Hawaii to Fort Knox, and Victor was 14 months old, and it was December, and the day we got there, that night, they proceeded to get 18 inches of snow. Through the night and the next day, 18 inches of snow, which never happens. And we had no cold weather gear. Nothing. So, luckily, being an MP, I called the desk and I was like, hey, I have no car. Can somebody come get me and take me to the PX so that I can buy winter gear? Because we have none. So, they came and gave me a ride and got me to the PX, and then got me home, and Victor was able to go out into the snow, and he loved it. Loved it. Were you guarding the gold? No. But Kira's dad guards the gold. That's what he does now. He just recently got that job. Finished all the schooling for it. It's Wednesday and Thursday night for the storms. Okay. Yeah, they look bad. I hope Mary's okay. She's not on here. I'm hoping she just forgot that we were doing the live. I'm excited for spring. Are you guys all excited for spring? I am so ready for the good weather and Kira to be back. I missed her a lot this year. So last year I enjoyed just being by myself. This year I was like, dang it, I'm lonely. She is getting the worst of it. Yeah, we do need to check with her. I may call her. So ready for spring. I'm past ready for spring. Yeah. Absolutely. Everybody's ready. I'm ready. Okay. Is anybody here somebody that just loves winter? Because there are people that talk about how much they love winter. I am not a fan. We had a lot of rain and ice. We had a lot of rain. Are you near me? Jag, are you near me? KJ, a neighbor and I were loading vehicles with donations from spring cleaning. Ooh, I've been outside for 3 days now. I can't move spring eggs. Carol. Anna, listen, I declare it spring a month ago. Nobody listened to me. I did too, but I got yelled at by other people in Idaho. Lynn, not me. So you don't like winter either. Okay, when I lived in Vegas, I actually liked winter, but does that even count, right? Oh, no, Central PA. Okay. So, I don't know if I'm not a fan because I'm in construction zone and I'm still trying to figure everything out here, or if it's one of those things that Like once everything gets settled and the barn's done, and it's because it's not a big deal to walk out there and take care of animals. I don't like the water freezing. That's not any fun. But I feel like once all those things were taken care of, it wouldn't be too bad. But I love spring and fall. Like, love. Those are my two favorites. The weather's good. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. You can wear a sweatshirt in the morning and a t-shirt in the afternoon. Put your sweatshirt back on in the evening. It's just like the perfect weather. Let's see. Tiffany, the bugs are out here. I was getting bit up. I said I can't complain because I wanted the bugs. And you're in Illinois, right, Tiffany? I think you're near my family. I haven't heard them complain yet about the bugs. Let's see. Anna, I miss Vegas so much weather-wise. You can't do anything in the summer, but it's great for kayaking in the pool. Yeah, it's too hot for me. That's why I left Texas, was the heat. Darlene, I love summer. I like to be hot. How hot, Darlene, does it get there where you're at? Because you're near Ontario, right? I know I've asked you this before. I just forget. Colleen, waiting for the foot of snow to start melting in our new garden orchard. It's not in direct sun right now. Ah, what I miss? KJ said something. KJ said something and everybody's agreeing with her. I like having seasons. Each one has its positives and negatives. Winters is for quiet reflection, reading, and puzzles, for example. Yes, I totally agree. So I think, and I love the fireplace. I love doing the fire. I like everything about the fire. I like carrying the wood in, starting the fire, sitting there in front of it while it gets going and warms up, and then the house gets all warm and cozy. And I love all that. That's why I think, like, once everything's done and it's not, I'm not fighting freezing water and I'm not fighting those things, and the animals have the better barn and it's easier to go in there and feed them and all of those things, I think I won't mind it as much. Now, like, I don't want last year, like when we had that negative 40-degree weather, that was horrible. But more winters pretty much like any of them, but last year with that negative 40 with the wind chill, that was terrible. It can get pretty hot here in the summer. I'd say the average is about 80. 80 is fantastic. 80 is a very good temperature. Yeah, Anna, KJ follows them really well, the storms. Carol, and I have thought about moving with him to Alaska, but the mosquitoes are too big in June. So I really wanted to go to Alaska, which is hilarious because I'm not too much into the winter. You would definitely have to have family to be with. I don't foresee being able to be there and be alone. But yeah, the mosquitoes look vicious. Those are eagles, Carol. Anna, you have your rotisserie chicken. You're ready for the storm. Oh, Tiffany, 73 today. Simple living with the urban hippie chick. Hello. Hello. 80 isn't hot. I learned what hot was in South Carolina. Yeah. Arizona and then Texas gets, like, depending upon where you are, 115, 110, 112. I mean, all up in that area. It's only hot when it's humid. Yeah, the dry heat versus the humid heat. The humid heat is suffocating. It's definitely suffocating. 24-hour darkness would be depressing. That would be hard in Alaska. And I think that was kind of what really pushed me over, because I do get the seasonal depression where I was like, maybe not. KJ, I'm a trained Skywarn spotter, which is fun. Vicky, Arizona where I lived got up to 125. Yeah, I left Arizona when I was 14, and I didn't go back until I was 40. 4. Hi, Danielle. How are the baby goats? How's the goat? I think it had its babies. Tiffany says, thank you. Yes, thank you for all the thumbs up, you guys. That's awesome. So, the heat I can't do. Now, here, the cool thing about here is when you're in the shade, it's not terrible. It's still hot. I mean, we get like a week's worth of 100-degree weather usually. Which that little swimming pool, 10-foot swimming pool that I got that's like 2 feet deep was perfect. Kira and I would go, she would sit and put her feet in it because her autism is like, I can't sit in that. It's slick and it's icky and ew, I can't do it. If it's not perfectly clean, no, she never did sit in it. Where I sat in it and we would read. So it's in the shade, full shade. And we'd sit in that and just hang out for like the super hottest parts of the day. So Darlene is in Canada, Anna. Let's see. Darlene, we get temps around 100 too, but it's not all the time. Winters are terrible, freezing cold. Good. He's growing. Still wanting our goat with the prolapse. Okay, that's still waiting on the one with the prolapse one. Okay. Dun, dun. I just had more baby Muscovies. Lord, they breed like rabbits. That's funny. Where are you at? I want some more Muscovies. I'd like to get at least a breeding pair. I seem to end up with boys. Like right now I have 3 male Muscovy ducks. West of Phoenix. I was in Tucson. 100 then freezing. Yeah, no. KJ, that's how I got one son over being affected. Storms, we read about them and made it interesting. Since I moved to Kentucky, I feel ripped off. 105 and 95% humidity, then ice storms and tornadoes. It's not a fun place to live. So I had bought land down in Elizabethtown. I had planned to stay in that area and then ended up selling and coming back to Texas. Hi, Cora. Ontario isn't as bad as Yukon. No, right? Let's see. I'm in Bonners up north of you. That's right. I have lots of hens and drakes. Let me know. Oh, nice. I will. I totally will. So that's one of our goals is to get the duck swimming pool completely set up and filled this year. I accidentally bought a bigger one when I reordered because the other one was 10-foot round. The new one is 12-foot round. So it holds 1,500 gallons of water. It is on a little bit of a slope, so it won't hold that as much. But that's what I'm using to water the garden. So we'll get that filled and fix any of the fencing that needs to be fixed so that the ducks can be there. And then I'm going to build a little duck house. But my goal for winter is to get all the animals in one building. So I'll have a pen for the ducks. The chickens' house the coop will be close enough to the barn that I won't have to put the chickens in. So I may just put the ducks in with the chickens in the wintertime because they'll have a covered run. And then I can just put plastic on the sides and so they could be out of the wind and everything. But awesome. Let's see. Not many, 40,000 or so, KJ. There are positives, negatives, and dangers in every area. Yeti live there? Oh, the Yukon. Okay, you guys lost me there for a minute. Brave souls. Probably not real humans. Definitely aliens pretending to be people. You're hilarious, Anna. All right, you guys, you got any major questions for me about this month? Chloe just barked at me. That will be awesome. Mine are all free range. I think I have 14 currently. Wow. Do you eat them? I eat them. No. Oh no. Why are we barking? So I bought cabinet doors finished, question mark. I actually had planned to polyurethane them today and finish putting all those up, but I took a nap instead. So I'm doing that tomorrow. I pick up the boys tomorrow, so I'm staying home. I'll be home all day. I may go in and shower and check my mail. Thank you, Cora. I'm excited for the kitchen cabinets coming together. I honestly have put them off because I was intimidated of them not being perfect. And then I was just like, it doesn't matter, Heather. You can redo them later if you want to. And so now I'm just diving in. And of course, I dive into the hardest cabinet first. That is so my personality. Let's see. Where are your new workbenches going? So we're going to be putting up the new carport, and we're actually going to do a cement slab in there, and they will go in there. But they have wheels on them, or they will have wheels on them once they get here. So I'll be able to pull them out wherever I need them to be. But I'm going to try to have that as my workspace because I can easily sweep up all of the wood chips and put them in the dog yard. So that kind of helps. I was going to raise for meat, but unfortunately life change has happened. So no, but I love them. Got you. Kitchen is looking awesome. Thank you so much, Carol. Anna, me with life. I'm not going to do it because it has to be perfect. Yes. It's literally the reason why I put it off, because I didn't know how to do, how much reveal to have around the face plates and stuff. Like, I don't know why it was really like setting me off. And then I think the biggest thing was the fact that I didn't have a work table to work on where I can put the face frames together and it's on a flat surface, and then I put it on the cabinet and, use shims if I needed to bring everything out and stuff. So that's why I was like, no, I just got to make these tables, and I'm really glad that I did. KJ, I've noticed that about you, doing the hard stuff first. Just yank that bandage off, I guess. Yeah, I dive into like the hardest thing, and then sometimes I get frustrated and I stop. And I definitely do this where if I don't know how to do it, I walk away from it and I do something else that it doesn't take a lot of my brain to do while I work out what I need to do with this thing that I'm struggling with. So I'm bouncing everywhere, which drives a lot of people nuts, but that's just how I work. I have to think about a task for a bit and then I do it. Yeah. Darlene, I love the cupboards. Great job. Thank you. Anna. Okay, but your kitchen has come along so far this year. You've done a great job. Thank you. I'm excited to have it done and then to move on to the bathroom, because that's kind of the next big thing in here. I have the OSB to do the ceilings. I'm just waiting on Kira so we can put the OSB up. And so I'll finish pulling the wire. Randy said he would come help me. So I've lost a lot of strength in my hands. And drilling through or cutting through the shipping container metal, which is so thick, is really, really hard on my hands. And if I use the grinder on the metal, I can't grasp or hold on to anything for like 3 or 4 days afterwards. And the thing is, with all of that conversation, is all the wiring needs to come into the living room because my panel box is right here in the living room behind my chair. So I've got to get a hole through there. And I've got to get a hole over the stove so that my venting can be hooked up and I can vent out of there. So Randy has said that he would come help me with that if I needed help with it. So I've I've put it off all winter long because I want to try it. And I did see somebody use a really heavy duty drill, which I have, and a drill bit, and they drilled a bunch of holes in it, and then they were able to cut it with the reciprocating saw. But again, the vibrating of that is really hard. So I'm going to try that with it. Oh, Carrie and her husband came over and bought 16, I believe. Okay, yeah. So she got them from you. Okay. They have goats, and she said she knows you, and yes, loving your kitchen, definitely need to come visit you. That would be fun. It would be a lot of fun for you to come out. Yes, KJ is my engineer. She's like, don't put that on me. Okay, so today I went and got the stanchion from a lady who watches, and her husband was like asking me about the plumbing, and he said, well, I'm a plumber, and I was like, oh no, you probably watch my stuff, and you're like, what are you doing, girl? I've had people that are professionals and stuff that I'm doing, and they're like, yeah, I don't know what you're doing. I was like, yeah, me neither, but it's fun to watch. I don't have the stamp. Abort. Blame KJ the cat. Hi, Juanita. I have to do things when I am thinking about it. Yeah. The biggest thing with the bathroom that has stopped me is bringing the water in. But now that I think I've figured out what I'm doing, how I'm doing that, and I really am terrified about drilling holes in the floor, because once there's a hole in the floor, how do you fix that if it's wrong? Like, that's kind of my biggest thing. So I'm putting holes. So that's kind of the biggest issue. I put the shower stall in so I can draw the circle where it needs to go. But then I'm like, oh, do I need to put stuff behind this? But I have the big plastic shower surround, so you do put wall board behind that. It doesn't just connect to the studs. So I need to make sure I move that out. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of videos on it. I've kind of got it figured out, the layout that I want, how I want it. So now it's just a matter of diving in to do it. Justin is on my shirt. It says, 'cause we can, just in case. So I sent pictures to a lady who did these into cartoon pictures of Justin and Chloe, and I pressed them onto my shirts. And I just printed these out. I did these, gosh, probably 7 years ago, and I wear the heck out of these. I did for a long time, and they've really held up really well. Yeah, so that's Justin. Is Chloe cool with that? Put the other stuff up and the floor shower last. Yeah. Alicia, KJ does always have really good advice. Carol, I start things and then wonder why it's not working. So that was the reason why I went ahead and bought these plans for the workbenches, because I was like, okay, I could watch this guy's video and figure this out and guess at it and figure it out, or I can just spend the $12, buy the plans, and has the cut list, and you just cut everything out and you just do it. And it was really nice following the plans. It was really, really nice doing it that way. Justin looks like he's mesmerizing you. Look at the eyes. He kind of does have a crazy expression, doesn't he? It has faded in its color, so the color has faded a little bit. So cute. A cut list is awesome. So I do have another one that's gray that has Chloe on the front. But I basically, with the table, I cut everything first one day. The next day I assembled everything and started staining it. The last day I finished staining it. Went to Carrie's house and helped her with her goat hooves, getting those trimmed up. Came back, put the tops on, stained it all again. Gave it a couple of hours, covered everything, and then it started raining. So I got it done. The wheels, the casters and stuff, I think are supposed to be here on Saturday. So um I'll be able to put those on, which is really nice. I'm not paying $12 for plans, and here are my dimensions sketched out. Voila. Yeah. So I am normally that way too. and but I am definitely, if I had the time, it's things are taking me longer than what I ever thought that they would take. And even this workbench, I was like, awesome, I could be done with this in 2 days, which I could have been if my entire body did not hurt from inflammation. Um, the rheumatoid arthritis is definitely slowing me down. That's causing some issues. My workbench was my grandpa's. Oh, that's awesome. He used old kitchen counter. He pulled out of a house that was being demolished. Yep. Ooh, this one that I like it because it connects together and it can go in a bunch of different configurations. The one thing that I do need to build is a chop saw stand, so my table saw has its own stand that I could push right up to this table and then have, so I can push it through and stuff's leaning on the table. And then I figure the two smaller ones, the chop saw can go in the middle of them, and you could push them up, and I could put stops and stuff so that I could, easily cut stuff up and whatever. Just add 10% to your estimate for time and then double that. Then you're on time. That's funny. Yeah, everything takes so much longer. And, the big thing about here is you have 5 or 6 months of working outside time, depending upon how early winter wants to come. So you have to be like, if it's something that needs to be done outside, we need to drop everything that can be done inside, because that can be done during bad weather and winter, and get outside and get those things done. So I think I'm not doing a big garden this year. I'm doing herbs. I want to grow a really good herb garden, and I want to grow a bunch of teas and flowers and such, because I'm doing carnivore diet. So pretty much if I eat anything but meat, my inflammation goes insane. So I guess I'm going to be doing that for a while. Anna, months. Oh, that's me. So, Kira, she was like, I've sat around and not done much over the winter. And I was like, well, yeah, me too. Healing. I'm now feeling like doing things. And the nice thing about it is I may hurt at the end of the day, but I sleep and I wake up and I start moving and I can get started again. It's not, maybe I'm just adjusting to being in pain all the time. The wild lettuce leaf is helping. So is anybody else doing that? Is anybody else drinking the wild lettuce tea? It is helping. But the biggest thing is eating, not cheating on the diet, which is very hard because I really like food and sweets. And then I hurt really, really bad. So, but this summer we are really, we're going to putter, but we're going to buckle down. So we're going to try to work 8 hours a day. And Kira's determined to get up a little bit earlier. She was getting up at 10. The thing with that is she can still get up at 10. I can get up in the morning and get started on stuff. And then when she gets up, take a break and leave the stuff that I need help with, So that's kind of the plan. But I'm excited for this year and getting stuff done, and I'm hoping that the skid loader is here. I'm definitely going to be using the machines more when they're here, because I want to even out the ground. It's been really hard walking around on the super uneven ground, and that's affecting my feet and my legs and my hips and knees and all of those things. And so getting that smoothed out, so at least we're walking around on a more level surface, will definitely be nicer. Let's see, remember, you have a life too. Animals to feed, laundry to do. Better to take a bit longer and be safe. Equipment will be a huge help. Yeah, and that's, so we are trying to figure out which days we're going to do, like, okay, this is a laundry day, this is a, but I think, so we're going to be building a shed for the water tanks, to do an insulated shed that the water tanks are in so that they don't freeze. And I have a very nice washer and dryer. And so I think those are coming here, and we're going to put those in that shed with the water, so that at least the washing machine, I don't think the dryer is going to be used very often. That is a pretty big hole on electricity. And I think if we did, like, okay, let's wash sheets and stuff, we would probably go to the laundromat, maybe to dry them. I don't know. I mean, I think we'll get a really good clothes line up, and in the summertime, you just hang them out. And I love sun-dried stuff, so the sheets just smell so good. It's just when it's really dusty that makes it really hard to do, where the dryer works really nice. But so I think I really would like to get the washing machine here, because then we could at least do that stuff. And have you gotten the driveway leveled out? No. And it's really bad right now. It's just really bad. Me too, it's my favorite. Yeah, so in Texas, I used to wash and hang my clothes out even though I had a dryer. And we would get the wind, and it would be so warm that the clothes that you put up first were already dry by the time you finished. And so you literally just hung them up, walked around, and started pulling them down and folding them and taking them in. So it was actually faster. The dryer could heat the shed. That's a good point, Carol. But I would have to run the generator to run the dryer, because it's, and I think I might have to get a bigger generator to do that. So I'm planning on getting one of those small diesel heaters that would sit outside, and well, they vent out, but the ones that Beaver sells, they're like, Simple Living Alaska has one for their chicken coop, and I think he said that it runs like 10 hours on one tank of gas, and it holds a little over a gallon or something. So that would not be bad at all. And a lot of moisture and maybe unwanted for the shed. Oh, that's the diesel heater would? I thought it was a dry heat. I thought it was the dryer. Are you talking about the dryer? Yeah, if you didn't vent it out, it definitely would, so then it wouldn't heat it. But the diesel heater would not. That's a dry heat. Because they have it in their chicken coop. So you couldn't have a wet heat in with the chickens. And that was another thing I was kind of thinking about doing, getting one for the chicken coop. Yeah, there's so many things to think about and how to do them. And it's so very different here because of how cold we get. Oh yeah, I love their setup too. They've got it going on. They've got it going on. Since Bob is not here, be careful of fire with that heater. Yeah. There's so many people using it that know way more than me about stuff, that I feel like You do vent it out, so it vents out. But they're made to put on your truck. So you put the base part outside on the bed of your truck, and then you blow the air inside your truck, so that when you're traveling, you can stop and sleep and still heat your cab of your truck. I think that's what they were made for. Hey, Susie, you made it, and we're getting ready to sign off. But I'm glad you made it. So, that's okay. Late only matters if you're pregnant. Love you too, lady. Are you coming to visit up here, Susie? Are you going to make it? Are you going to make it this year? Oops, autocorrect. All right, y'all. I do think I'm going to cut out and finish up and clean up and read my book a little bit more and go to sleep. I'm tired. I'm hoping that I get caught up in sleep, but I am so ready to be outside puttering around. It was so nice these last couple of days out there working on the table. And Vicky, I watch an English channel that has a diesel heater in his camper. It works great. Yeah. Yeah, well, I got kid problems. Doesn't that count? They have used theirs in the truck camper top and ice fishing tents. Yeah. So I feel like it's a pretty safe situation, and with their chickens, and I feel like chickens would be really sensitive if anything was going. So Beaver had asked me to do one. They wanted to do a collaboration with it, and I was like, I don't know. Okay, Susie, definitely. Let's get coffee. I just didn't know how hard it was going to be to set up and all of those things, so I said no. But now I'm probably going to buy one. Victor's going to buy one too. We talked about it for the water, to keep the water from freezing and heating that space. That's pretty inexpensive to keep your water from freezing. Like, that has not been fun. Having the 55-gallon drum inside has been great this winter because I don't use a lot of water. I still go and shower at the Y. And so that lasts me quite a while. And when it got too hard to fill it up with the big tank, I just got the blue 6-gallon jugs, brought them in and dumped them in it, and then was able to pump out of that. So, that's pretty nice. That has been really nice. But I'm really hoping next year I don't have to have the 55-gallon drums inside. And then I can have that in with the chickens. And then if the chicken coop is heated, then I can have the big 55-gallon drum in there and keep them up with water and stuff. So, yeah, that's the plan, getting all that figured out. But thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys, and chatting. See, I didn't even know what I was going to talk about. Apparently, I can talk about anything. I've been told that. I am really chatty. I did get bruises somehow. I got a big old giant bruise on my leg. Hi, Chloe. Your cold nose on my leg. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.